Exclusively is the House Intel Committee ranking Republican Devin Nunes, who, of course, was the former chairman. Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Great to be with you, Ed.
What kind of a start is this for Adam Schiff as chairman of the House Intel Committee, that a story comes out, many Democrats, many of the mainstream media jump on the initial BuzzFeed report and says this is going to lead to impeachment, if true, it's now shot down by the special counsel, and Adam Schiff says, I want to investigate more.
Well, I think it's important for the viewers to know, Ed, that BuzzFeed is a critical player in this. BuzzFeed was the first news outlet to print the dossier. This was the Clinton paid-for dirt gleaned from the Russian activists or some type of Russian officers, intelligence people, given to Christopher Steele, and BuzzFeed published this information.
Yep.
Okay, so BuzzFeed, along with dozens and dozens of actors of news media people, have staked their entire careers on this Russian gambit. And so they are desperate. So every week we have something new, something comes up that this is the end-all, be-all, and it just so happens that last week BuzzFeed, I think was looking for a Hail Mary pass, and it just didn't work.
But so is Michael Cohen, though, at this point? He was already supposed to be going in early February to the House Oversight Committee to talk more broadly about what he allegedly knows. But he's already been, pled guilty to lying to Congress. So how credible could he be on this story anyway?
Well, look, I don't know how credible he is. He already was. He did lie to Congress, as you just said. But something also important to note about the so-called Trump Tower meeting. This is the meeting that actually Fusion GPS met with the people before and after that meeting. Fusion GPS, once again, was a Clinton campaign paid-for operations outfit. So they were clearly involved in the setup of the Trump Tower meeting. So if they want to bring Cohen in and talk to him, that's great. We'll participate. But likely, if you really want to get to the truth behind the Trump Tower meeting, Fusion GPS and the Clinton campaign are all over it, probably behind it.
And if you want to talk about the Clinton campaign and Fusion GPS, you have to talk about Bruce Orr at the Justice Department. His wife, of course, worked for Fusion GPS. And I find it interesting that a moment ago you were saying many in the media week after week will jump on any anonymous source story that they think fits a narrative against the president. But then you have an on-the-record transcript of House Republicans bringing Bruce Orr in a couple of months back. And among other things, this is from Kim Strassel in the Wall Street Journal on Friday. Mr. Orr told this team the information in the dossier came from the Clinton camp and warned that it was likely biased, certainly unproven. When I provided, he said, the Steele information to the FBI, I tried to be clear that this is source info, he testified. I don't know how reliable it is. You're going to have to check it out and be aware. These guys were hired by somebody relating to the Clinton campaign, and be aware. It sounds to me like he told Republicans in private that he was trying to sound the alarm about the dossier being biased, and others at Justice and the FBI did not listen.
So why is this important? This is important because if you remember, about a year ago, we put out a memo to the American public that was declassified. We wanted to make sure the American public knew that the Clinton campaign had paid for this dirt. It had not been presented to the FISA court at all. And we knew that top people within the DOJ and FBI knew about it. Now, we spent a year, basically a year and a half, fighting over this information, but now we know for certain, and now the American people are beginning to find out, that not only did top officials know at the FBI, top officials also knew at the Department of Justice, including 4 people that were on the Mueller team. 2 have now been fired. 1 is now the leader of the Mueller team, the so-called attack dog. And so these people have a lot of questions that need to be answered that we in the House, because our investigation continues, even though we don't have subpoena power, we will continue to investigate this and bring this information out to the public.
Quick
so
last
the truth
question
gets out.
Based on what I just read, is Bruce Orr a good actor? Somebody Republicans initially have painted him as a villain. Was he being honest to Republicans, or was he just covering his tracks because he's in deep as well?
Well, look, I believe that he's telling the truth in his testimony. I have no reason to not believe that because it actually lines up with a lot of additional information that we know about. So look, the fact that he, Bruce Orr has his own problem because he did not tell the government that his wife was being paid and working for essentially a Clinton campaign operative.
Yeah.
But look, there's so much more in these transcripts. They need to all come out. They need to all be made public. And there's still additional information that needs to be declassified so the American public has a true understanding of what happened.
All right, Devin Nunes, that information is still coming out. We appreciate you coming in exclusively tonight.